Hey, what's going on, guys? Crobat for the win. Danza here today with...
John AKA P0KEM3N.
And I will be doing another round of coach interviews today. John, I'm really happy that you could make it today. I know that with all that Deflategate coverage flooding the streets of New England, it must have been pretty difficult to get here.
Oh, dude, it was hard. They're interviewing everyone and anything that could give them any information of why the Pats are cheaters like usual. Just kind of said they did it. It's obvious. It's a no-brainer. You saw the Tuck rule and everything that's happened since then. Spygate, it's, I don't even want to talk about it because we have better things to talk about. The GBA is here, and I'm excited.
Oh, I'm definitely excited. Alrighty, so we're going to get into that GBA discussion because we don't need to talk about the Patriots here. I have an obviously good starting question. How are you feeling knowing that the GBA is returned after the catastrophe from last season?
Oh, I am excited. At first I was a little apprehensive. It sounded like a big project, Steve contacts me and says, hey, Shady and Dan, they kind of want to get back together. Let's get this thing going. I'm like, wow, that's bare bones. Seems like a lot of work. I don't know, so many people left, but we're here and things are just incredible right now. It's great. I'm having so much fun, and everyone seems really happy. I love the positivity. I love everything about this, and I'm excited for what should be a fantastic season.
Yeah, it's shaping up to be one. The hype around this season is just incredible.
It's unreal. I definitely did not predict that. I was honestly a little bit worried that how season 3 ended with all the negativity everywhere would kind of affect this, but it seems like that isn't even a thing, and everyone's just so happy it's back and exciting, and knowing that the fans wanted it back that badly just makes me more excited because, win or lose, I got people backing me in the whole channel, the whole group, everything, and it's excited. It's so cool to be a part of this, and I'm happy you're back, even doing this. Hopefully we'll see you back soon. But
yeah, definitely. I'm glad to be back. I'm enjoying my position thus far. Certainly, it's been a lot of fun. Alrighty, now that you have this fresh start, what is your favorite part, or what's the most exciting part of this new format to the GBA?
Well, it's definitely being able to draft my own team from scratch. And it's something that should be happening basically every season, which is really exciting. I never got to do that. I felt like I would have been able to draft a good team. And even if I wasn't able to, I was excited for the idea of getting my own team, my own Mons. If my team does bad, it's because of me. It's not on anyone else. I'm not inheriting some team that's either really good, really bad. I'm not good with it, this or that. Everyone's really different. That's one of the beautiful things about Mons. There's so many different play styles, so many different Mons, so many different combinations, and it was really nice to think I can make my own combination. So I spent a long time planning the draft, and yeah, that was definitely the most exciting part.
Right, and I think it panned out very well for you. You definitely have one of the strongest teams in the league, no doubt.
Well, thank you, Danza. I put a lot of time into it. I definitely think I have a good team. I'm comfortable with the team, and I think the draft actually went better than I even could have imagined.
Well, it's good that you're thinking that way going into the season. How are you feeling about the other new guys in the league?
Really good, It's always hard to get other people that are as excited as you. I put a lot into it. GBA is one of my favorite things that I've ever done with YouTube, my favorite way to battle, and all 6 guys are so into it, so excited. Everyone was getting into it for the draft. Everyone had their own plans. Everyone was really excited. Like, there was 12 people waiting patiently for the next, well, maybe not patiently in some people's parts, Miguel, but everyone's there waiting. Everyone wants the next draft. Everyone's, talking to each other like, hey, here's my number. Text me if it's my turn, this and that, helping each other out. It's really nice, positive atmosphere. Everyone is kind of working together. It's a really nice group. People are getting closer. A lot of friendships are being made, and it's great. They are great guys. I'm excited to see how well they do. Some of them had some pretty solid drafts, and I know some of them are really good battlers. So whether or not they're going to be great GBA battlers is to be determined. I definitely think a few of them will surprise us and do really well.
Right. Hey, the only thing I could think of that would be better would be the anti-battle GBA.
Danza. You know it. That'd be crazy. That would be such a ridiculous amount of... that'd be strategic. Wow. I wonder if that would be harder. Having to try to predict what they're predicting, so for you to do... just that'd be crazy.
Mind blown right there.
Yes. Right. I wasn't ready for that, and I'm excited you said that. Wow. Ninja first off the board. Definitely banned.
Hey, there's some entrepreneur in the audience. Get it started. Anti-battle GBA. Go.
There's someone who he's writing things down. Okay, so I'm banning this item clause. Well, let's go.
Magikarp, Uber level.
Dude, that'd be, oh man. Oh, Dan, you get me too excited about that. That's like, oh man.
Alrighty, so we're gonna get off anti-battle GBA. Someone else will start making that.
Okay.
If someone actually makes that, please let us know, because I would be really interested in watching how that goes.
Danza trying to start his own league. Okay, someone do the groundwork, invite me, like it'd be great. I got a team ready. Oh man.
That would be awesome. Awesome. Alright, getting into your individual draft. Okay. I have to start out with, half of your team had at least at one point been on the LA Nido-Kings once. And several of my favorite members from Season 3 are also on your team, which I think is pretty cool. Raikou and Entei specifically. Did you somehow plan this out?
Well, I don't think that is a coincidence. I was a big fan of the GBA Season 1. I came in second Season 2. And, Season 3 never really went too far, but I definitely was watching everyone's battles. The D-League I was watching. And I did a lot of research. I kept some mental notes. And when it was my turn to draft, I really looked at what was successful for other people. Now, it's kind of weird to do that, and it's hard because other people are better than other people. That's the bottom line. A lot of people don't like saying that, but it's the truth. There's some people who had some of the best mons and just didn't use them well. And there's some people who had not the best mons. They used them incredibly. So you really have to think who, was at least decent and what mons were decent, and then who used those really well. I think, obviously, you brought up you. Great example. I think the fast electric type was really just driven into my mind after seeing Jolteon do so well. It's having a fast electric type at the end. It can volt switch, usually really powerful. You can outspeed and clean up teams, and something I really wanted. On Empoleon, I remember you using that. A great defogger. It fits really well with my core. A lot of people were actually looking down on the pick, which is great, because if people are going to underestimate Empoleon, that's fantastic.
Yeah,
I've used it a lot. Right?
As a man who had Empoleon before, don't underestimate it. I once ran Choice Scarf Steel Wing to Oko Omega Gardevoir, so I think all of your poor arguments against Empoleon are now invalid.
Dude, I do remember, and that's the thing. It's one of those things you don't remember. It still is a steel type. With fairies running around, you can just throw something like that on there, really surprise someone. Not going to work every single time, but 1 out of 10 times, it's going to work, and that's great. And, there's a lot of things on my team that worked well on other teams. Actually, I don't know if there's any Mon. Let me check my team. Is there any Mon on my team that wasn't on someone else's team? So we got Mega Venusaur, that was on Tom's team. Sylveon was on my team. Raikou was on your team. Kier on Tom's team, Empoleon on your team, Staraptor both teams, Crocodile Kote's team, Entei your team, Spirit Tomb, Roger, I remember he used that well in the few times he had it. Uxie, I saw that in the PPL, the person who has that is running shop, and Hariyama's on Nick's team, so those are 11 mons I have seen work well in this format on other people's teams. I've used all of them in competitive play, so, I feel comfortable with all 11 mons on my team in GBA play and in standard play, so, yeah, it's no coincidence. Definitely did that on purpose.
That's a great answer, man, actually. I'd like to say, though, I remember my old days with Jolteon. I'm glad to see him back under new ownership of another team. Once Pokebank was out, unfortunately, Raikou kind of outclassed it, mostly. Remember, you got to keep in mind, just to people in the audience, Season 1 was pre-Pokebank days, so we didn't have access to things like Raikou's. Well, actually, that was in the game, but to the event Raikou, Entei, custom EVs, and IVs, whatever. We couldn't do any of that. So at the time, Jolteon was definitely a better pick, and that's why I only went with it 1 year.
Oh, no one should ever. And if they want to argue, then they're stupid, because it was the MVP of the league on the winning team. Yeah, it was on the winning team. It was the best Pokemon that year.
And one of my favorite things, I read a comment on the GBA Championship. Basically, Gubbs had Togekiss on the field, and I had Jolteon out. I critted him with a Volt Switch. Someone basically said that was like LeBron James jumping over Kevin Durant and slam dunking it with the glass breaking. Like, that's how intense that was, because Togekiss was
I do
number
remember
2.
that, because Togekiss had the second most kills, right?
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite things. I love looking at the stats and looking back on regular sports season. The GBA, the more seasons that happen, it's cool to look back.
I've definitely had my fair share of times when I've looked back. It's a lot of fun to look back, definitely. Alrighty. Getting back to GBA, Serious Discourse, how are you feeling about your draft? I know you've touched upon it a bit, but what kind of style were you going for going into it?
Well, I feel incredible about this draft. I really don't know if it could have gone any better. When I was looking at the draft, and I was like, okay, so what do I want to draft? It's a completely new style. You know, I had a big part in looking over and trying to figure out the point values and some of that stuff. And I was thinking, how am I going to make this work? How am I going to get what I want? You know, what do I want? What do I value most? And at first I was like, okay, I really want a Steel Fairy Dragon Core. And right away I was like, nah, I'm not going to be able to get what I want to complete that. It's not really going to be worth trying to go that right off the bat. What is the singular best mon that I could get? You know, I'm great at Metronome Battle, so I got the first overall pick. Mm-hmm. And I decided, well, my style, bulky offense and versatility, Mega Venusaur, it has, over 100 in attack, special defense, and defense. That sounds like the perfect bulky mon, and it's pretty versatile. You know, you can do a lot of things with that, and I just felt like that fit me perfectly. And as I said before, I knew I wanted a fast electric type, and I wanted Fairy Dragon Steel. I end up, for the next 5 picks, I get everything I just said there. Mega Venusaur, Sylveon, Raikou, Kyurem B, and Polion. Already, I felt so comfortable with my draft that unless I just completely just fell off the bus and started drafting just random shit, I'd been fine. And I ended up filling the team up with some pretty good things. You know, I finished off a Firegrass and Water Core, which completes another good core. I feel like I have some pretty good bulky offense. I got priority to end the draft. Actually, 3 of the 4 last picks had priority. Entei with Extreme Speed, Spirit Tomb, Sucker Punch, and Shadow Sneak. Hariyama with Fake Out and Bullet Punch. And they got Uxie, which had Levitate and Psychic, which really helped with a lot of things that my team struggled with. There's a lot of things I really like about this draft. And if you've watched me play in the GBA before, especially Season 2, a lot of bulky offense, and then I want to have something fast to clean up at the end. And I feel like I have that in Crocodile, Staraptor, and Raikou. Obviously, totally. Crocodile isn't the fastest thing, and, you know, Staraptor, they're not the fastest, but still, 92 out of the 3 is the slowest, and if you scarf that, it's faster than a lot of things with Moxie. Going to force some switches. It has a pretty good move pool, and I think it's going to be pretty good. So, very, very content with the draft.
That's great. Okay, key question here. Will we be seeing Extreme Speed Raikou?
Ooh, will we be seeing Extreme Speed Raikou? That is a good question. I don't know, Danza. I don't want to say who I battled or anything, but, you know, I had fun with the GBA coach. We did a really quick preseason battle. We just kind of threw together teams, and may I say, Extreme Speed Assault Vest Entei put in some work. That guy with the Extreme Speed was putting in work. Will we see double Extreme Speed? I don't know. I love priority. Some sneaky priority from Raikou. I mean, maybe I'll try and channel my inner Danza, get a crit at the end. And
hey, GBA stat for the day. Raikou has used Extreme Speed once in the GBA, and it has a 100% success rate at getting crits.
You know, I'm going to keep that in mind because I don't want to mess that up. I mean, that's a pretty important stat, and I feel like I have to use it when the time is right.
Just like when your Talonflame is out, and you're about to Brave Bird when I have 1 HP left.
Oh, boy. That's a... Danza. That was a heartbreaking moment. I look at my Skype chat, crit. I was like, what? And then I look at my DS, and I see Extreme Speed, and I'm like, I'm at, like, I have HP investment. I'm like a half crit. God damn it, he called it. He actually called it. Man.
But you can't even be mad about that.
No, I wasn't. It's... I don't know how to feel about it, but I wasn't mad. I was just in shock. I was like, wow. Okay, this is the last thing I thought was going to happen today.
And I think it's somewhat embedded in GBA lore, the Crit City.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was something. That's something that will be in my memory for a while, that's for damn sure.
But you don't have to face it this year because you have control over Crit City, so...
Yes, I do, and that is good. If I get crits and people hate me, so be it. It's part of Crit City over there.
Hey, and you'll just be a winner.
Yeah, you know, I like to hear that. That's what I want. Thanks, Danza.
Hey, no problem, man. So, going back to your draft, did you ever get sniped, or I
actually did. There's a few times I did get sniped. The first time I got sniped was when, I forget who it was. I think Hank, he got Latios. And it's actually, there was two dragons I had my eye on. You know, from way before planning, I knew I wanted to get Goodra again. I said bulky offense and versatility. There's not many Mons that really embody that as well as Goodra does. And I did so well with it in the Season 3 that I really wanted it. You know, I thought about getting Kyurem B first for a while, but in the end I just decided Mega Venusaur was better. And I was like, you know, Kyurem B is not going to last. It's going to be gone the first round. And I just kind of didn't think about it. But fourth round, I was going to get Latios because I needed to get, you know, something with Levitate, and I wanted a Psychic Levitator with Defog. You know, I ended up getting Usi at the end. No Defog, sadly, but, you know, obviously the Lati twins are the best. So they're both gone. And then Geo gets Goodra, so I'm like, well, I guess none of the dragons I wanted are there. And then I look through the draft again, and I see Kyurem B. I know a few people are poking fun at me, like, oh, Kyurem B's not a good pick. He was going to get Goodra instead. It's not true. Goodra was just on my board for a while, and I wanted Latios. But when I went and looked at the board and I saw that Kyurem B was still there, it was just a no-brainer. I was like, oh, I'm going to get it. And that happened with a few things. You know, I really wanted to get what was also at that point, there was like no defoggers or spinners left. People got those quick. If you hadn't been like, if you weren't drafting, you probably didn't realize it. But me and Miguel got to a point where I sniped him in Empoleon. There was like nothing left for defog, so I was freaking out. And I settled in Empoleon, which was a great pick, and I'm happy I got it. But the next thing I got sniped after Empoleon, I went Scolipede for BL. I felt like Scolipede passing to Kyurem B or Mega Venusaur.
That's not going to be... Right. That wouldn't have been fun.
No, that would have... Oh, my God. It would have been crazy. But, I mean, I definitely waited a little long to get that, so I'm not really... That wouldn't really upset me, because if I had gotten that, that would have been a little ridiculous. Especially after getting Kyurem B at the end of the fourth round, I felt like getting Scolipede in the sixth round would have been crazy. So I got Staraptor instead, which was great. Crocodile, and I think I got sniped when I ended up getting Entei, and that made me look through the draft again. I realized no one got Entei, and it's like a constant cycle of realizing people didn't get stuff when it was finally my turn, and I had to look around and see what I wanted, and it was great. So,
hey,
yeah, it's sniped. I don't.
So nothing wrong with Sacred Fire Burns. All of a sudden,
no,
Gyarados doesn't want to switch in.
I think that was my favorite late pick. It was because that was like one thing I didn't have on my draft board. Like everything else, like Hariyama, I wanted it from the beginning. Uxie, I'd thought about the entire time. Spiritomb, I did get sniped. I wanted Mismagius, but Spiritomb will be good. But like everything else on my team, I'd thought about at one point, but Entei just never crossed my mind. It's like one of my favorite things that I have. I cannot wait to use that. Sacred Fire Burns, have fun switching in not fire types. Like, jeez.
Yeah, Landers T, come on in. Just take a nice burn to the face.
Please, yeah, counter my ass. Damn, it's going to be incredible.
And I Rotom Heat. Was Rotom Heat selected?
Yes, it was. I think, did Shady get it?
I think you might be right, yeah. Rotom Heat is one of the few things that can take on Entei relatively well. So, knowing that that's only on one team?
Yeah, that is nice. It's definitely really nice.
So yeah, given my experience with Entei, I hope it goes well for you too. Definitely. Assault Vest Entei is great.
That is what I used in my preseason match. I was thinking about what you said about that, and I did love that set. Definitely, well, I don't want to say definitely, because that's not true. I change my sets every single week, so we'll see. There's a good chance you'll see Assault Vest Entei once or twice.
Awesome. So, what are your expectations for this season? I do know you've had effectively 1.5 seasons of GBA experience. You watched one season before. Obviously, we know how you took the team over from Moody Pones. In spite of your water weakness, you still managed to be runner-up in the GBA. Not too shabby.
Yeah.
Not only you have great grasp at the format, you drafted really well, in my opinion. Do you believe your previous experience, plus this new team, will boost you to stay in the top?
I really do. I would be disappointed with anything, but I mean, like, you know, I always, like, I remember in Season 2, people give me a hard time for a good reason, because I'd always be like, oh, all I care about is, like, having positive record. It was like, all I care about playoffs, all I care about is the first spot, all I care about this and that, and it always changed, but I set little goals. The big goal is obviously the championship, and, you know, after coming in second in that league, and I think, no, there was the same amount of people, but coming in second with that, and, this season, coming into this interview, I've only heard things. I've heard people say, "Oh, you have the best drafted team." All the comments are saying that, and that's one thing. You know, I feel like as a battler, I've come in second before, so I mean, I feel like I've shown that I'm a good battler. I was the #1 seed in my conference. So you put best draft in a lot of people's opinions with, you know, really successful in the GBA format so far, that should be in the top 3 at the very least at the end of the season. So, if I'm going to stay at the top in the preseason, or if I'm in the top in the preseason, I want to stay there in the actual season. I want to use this team to its full potential, and hopefully I can bring home the championship. It's going to be a lot of work, and I think there's a lot of really good teams, a lot of really good players. So it's not going to be a walk in the park, and I could definitely end up doing bad, but I feel like this team is so good, and I feel like I know what I'm doing, and I feel like it could be a championship. The slogan of this year is finish what we started. We got Sylveon back. It's time to get back to the championship and finish what we started.
Definitely. Hey, you definitely have the credentials. I think if you can make a push, you're definitely in the running, man.
All you got to do is get to the playoffs, and then it's anyone's game.
Right. And look at the Bucks or even the Celtics. I mean, they're in the playoffs. Who knows what can happen?
Yeah, hey, I'd be happy. If you're in the playoffs, you got to be happy. Let's look at the Giants. Look at what they've done in the wild card spot. The Steelers, you make the playoffs, some crazy things can happen.
And I'd just like to point out, I have the statistics in front. For regular season, you have won 12 out of 19 games, giving you a 63.2% win percentage in the regular season.
Nice. I like that. That sounds a lot better than most people have, especially people coming in that are new.
Hey, they've got 0 wins, so
right?
You're doing a lot better than they are.
Yeah, I like that, Danza. I like that. Yeah. I think one of the thing I've definitely prided myself the most in the GBA when you bring up the stats is there have only been 2 games that I ever lost more than 2-0. I've always been in all of my games, and those 2 losses were the one against Gubs the last season when I was messing around with Wi-Fi and I just brought random things. I'd already clinched the first seed, it didn't matter, and that was a 3-0 loss. And then the last game of the season when I went against Steve's Cress and gave up, and I just... Definitely, I hope that never happens again. I'm excited. I'm ready to give it my all every single battle. I hope I just don't get bad memories. We're pushing forward. I don't ever want to dread the GBA battle. I want to be excited every single time. I'm 0-9. Let's make it 1-9 at the end of the season. You got to have that attitude. Every battle you're 0-0 again, and you're going for that first win.
Right. No, definitely. That's going to be critical to the success in the format. Given your schedule, I don't know if you guys have the schedule made yet.
We do not, because for those of you who not know, this interview is happening like the day after the draft ended, and we decided that we didn't want to make the conferences and divisions or any of that stuff before or until the draft was over, because we didn't want people the first season drafting just to counter other people who were in their division that they might play a few times. So we wanted to prevent that, at least for this season. So that will be made very soon. But there's 10 games. I mean, I must be playing almost everybody. I feel like you can alter the question from that if it's not.
So I was going to get to this. Who are you most looking forward to playing?
That one is a very easy question. Definitely Hank. He's someone that I vouched for in Season 3. I felt like he'd be a good addition. He can get in, and I vouched for him again this season. He did get in. I remember watching him in, I think it was the PBL. The dude went 12-0. Now, obviously, it's a different league. The competition might not have been as strong as the GBA was. That's from his mouth, not mine, so you can yell at him. But... I watched that, man. His team really wasn't that good, but he was so good at creating these sets. I think he had Sableye, just regular Sableye, as one of the top runners for MVP. He had so many kills. He was using defensive Salamence all the time. He had so many good sets, and just the dude is great at the format. I feel like it's really going to translate to this. He had a great draft, and I'm excited to get a chance to play him. I feel like it's going to be a really good challenge. There's other people in this that I feel like are going to be great, but I battled a lot of them. I've never battled Hank in general, so I think that will be the number one match I'm looking forward to. Could be a loss, but I just want a great battle.
I think that's what we all want. Great battles, That's what the people look for. No one likes to see a 50-0 loss in the NFL.
No. And no one likes to see the hour-long 6v6 Cooper Danza battle. I mean, you guys might have thought it was incredible. It's one of those things that, you want to talk about GBA lore, the freaking 6v6 timeout. But I want to see some action, Danza. I want to see Mons paint. Come on, I don't want to see that.
I blame that match on my Drain Punch knockoff specially defensive Gengar.
That's a crazy set, and I mean it clearly worked because
it worked
didn't
against Chansey
die.
because Chansey can't S-toss it or Thunder Wave because I had sub. Can't Toxic it. That was my plan.
I mean, the plan worked, and then you ended up getting the win. It was just probably the least conventional win ever. So no, that's not what I want. The team is bulky, but the team has a lot of power this season. So, God, no 6v6 timeouts. I will break all walls.
All right, let's get it real here. I have a feeling I'm probably in the most GBA lore story compared to everyone else. I can think of so many in so many ways that I am embedded in GBA lore, or somehow or other.
It's good, and now you get to be those retired analysts. Sit back, think about it, and talk to the new guys or the old guys coming back.
And who knows? Maybe one day I'll be Brett Favre and I'll get to come back.
Kurt Warner even.
But there you go. He almost won a Super Bowl in 2001.
Right? They tried to get him back this year. All right, Dan, we got to get back on track. I could talk football all day.
Oh, yeah, you're right. We'll have to save that for another day. All right, who are you least excited to play?
Who am I least excited to play? I am going to go with Miguel. Now, the reason I'm least excited to battle Miguel is because I've heard so many people say, you drafted the best team and this and that. I'm not someone who wants to hear that. I don't want that spotlight. I want to sit in the shadows and then hopefully creep my way up. But I know Miguel. He was almost undefeated in the D-League. He was the best expansion team. Last season was doing fantastic. Miguel is hungry. He wants the number one spot. So the target on my back now is ridiculously big, and I think Miguel is going to be gunning for me. If we battle, he's going to put everything in to show that he is the best battler. He has the best team, not me. So I'm excited to battle Miguel. He's a good friend of mine. He's a great battler. But I know, or at least I really believe, he will put more into the battle against me than anyone else will for that reason alone. And that just means he's hungry. I think he's one of the scariest people for many reasons. And that'll be cool. I'm gonna have to emulate that. I'm gonna have to want to beat him bad. Hopefully, hopefully it's a good one.
Hey, I can imagine a John versus Miguel championship, depending on how the divisions work out.
That would be a battle and a half. That would be something.
That'd be bigger than the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah, it would. Oh yeah.
Alrighty, so I think we're going to get closer to wrapping things up here. If you had to give just one short, any length, doesn't matter, one message to your Pelippers fans before this new season, what would it be?
The slogan, finish what we started.
I like it. Alrighty, anything else?
I think that is about it. Danza, thank you for having me on. I really enjoyed this. You had some great questions. I loved answering them. And everyone here, definitely go check out Danza's channel. He's doing incredible things for this channel. I'm so happy he is one of the people working on these videos and helping us out, really making the season special. So Danza, thank you very much for taking time out of your day to do this with me. And thank you guys for supporting the GBA in general. I think that's about it.
I'm humbled. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And thank you for taking time out as well. This was very fun.
It was.
Alrighty, guys. So definitely rate, comment, subscribe to the GBA channel, to John's channel, to my channel, and all the other GBA guys. Their links will be in the description as well. So that's about it. Once again, rate, comment, subscribe, guys, and later.
Peace.